Time to fight fear with faith. Jody Paar is a survivor who is no longer staying silent. She and her guest will fuel you up so you too can fight fear. Uplifting and inspirational stories that will rock you to your core. We don't tiptoe around the truth. We steamroll it in a bold way. This is your life, and now is the time to start living it. Get ready for the Faith Over Fear podcast with Jody Paar. Now, welcome Jody Paar to inspire you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Faith Over Fear. I am Jody Paar, and today I don't have a guest. So I am going to kind of be just winging it with you guys, and I want to hit on a subject that I think a lot of my listeners and people watching want to talk about, and that is when to walk away. Guys, so many times in life we find ourselves in relationships, careers, different things, and we don't know when to walk away from it. We end up kind of almost stuck. And I want to talk about this today because I know that in my life that I have found myself in these situations. A lot of people, I'll touch on relationships first. A lot of people say, well, why does that person stay in an abusive relationship? Like, I don't understand why that person stays in an abusive relationship. Well, I'm going to tell you, unless you are in an abusive relationship, you will not understand why someone stays in it. I stayed in mine for many years, and the reason was because I didn't think that I could do any better than him. I didn't think that I deserved anything better than him, and all he did was remind me of that. And so walking away just didn't seem like an option. It seemed like I was lucky to have him. I was lucky to be with him, even though he was mean and ugly to me. My security in myself, I was so insecure with who I was and what I had been through that I just didn't think I deserved anything better. And how many of you guys listening and watching this can relate to that? Can relate to the fact that you don't think you deserve better. So you stay in the same situation that you're in because you don't think you deserve anything better. And when you're with those people that tell you you don't deserve anything better, then it's not only you saying it, but it's somebody else saying it to confirm what you already feel. And so how do you know when to walk away? Well, there's several red flags for an emotional or an abusive relationship. One very big one is if you feel it in your gut and you know that there is more fear in that relationship than love. When you are afraid to say anything, it's like you're actually walking on eggshells. You're afraid to say how you feel because you think that they're going to explode on you. And so you kind of have to figure out what's okay to say and what's not okay to say because you're so afraid of the fact that you could say the wrong thing and like a bomb, it could just explode. He could explode on you. I understand what that's like. I mean, everything from what to eat to where to go to sitting at a red light and a guy be, in the car next to us. And I had to keep my eyes directly in front of me because if I had even glanced over to look at, whatever's outside the window and there was a guy there, he would scream and yell at me. He would grab me and my arm so tight and be like, are you sleeping with him? Who is that? And why is he following us? And, I was like, no, I don't know who he is. Like, I have no idea. But it was the insecurities of him that were coming back on me. And so therefore, I always was afraid to say anything, to talk about anything. I even told him one time about a guy that hit on me, and he twisted that around to make me look like the bad person, to make me look like it was my fault that this guy hit on me. And so it got to where I didn't even want to say anything. I just kind of stayed silent because I didn't want the repercussions of what was going to come at me whenever I did say something. Another thing is if someone tears you down more than they build you up in a relationship, if you are trying hard to say lose weight or you're trying hard to do better and they're constantly tearing you down and constantly telling you you're fat or you're disgusting or you would never be able to get anybody else. Only I could love you because of the way you look. These are all big time red flags. And a lot of you might be listening and say, well, that's common sense, but it's really not. When you're in those relationships, it's really not common sense because you get so brainwashed by hearing these things said to you over and over again that you don't even realize that you're in the kind of situation that you're in. Another really big red flag is if they make you do things that you don't want to do. You are your own person. And if you don't want to do something, or if something is out of your comfort zone, then you should not ever be pushed to do that. No matter if it's a sexual thing, if it is, I say sexual thing because that is something that happened to me when I was in this kind of relationship. And I know that there's so many other things that, they'll push their beliefs on you, or they'll push, different things on you, but you have to be your own person. You have to know who you are. And, you've got to know when to walk away. You've got to know whenever it's not safe anymore and the environment isn't safe anymore. And for my listeners that are just new to this, let's just say we're in the beginning stages of the relationship. And let's say that he just happened to say, you look fat in that outfit. Or he just happened to say, why are you working there? It's stupid. Or he just happened to say, I hope you know how good you have it with me. I'm giving you red flags. If he's telling you who friends to hang out with and he's keeping you from your family, I'm telling you things that are red flags early on that you need to look out for, because it only gets worse from there. You've got to know when to walk away. You've got to know when to stand up for yourself and walk away from a relationship that is not good, that is toxic. If you are fighting more than you are happy, meaning a lot of times we fight over things that are just frivolous in relationships, right? Like stupid stuff. But then there's like hardcore fighting that is uncomfortable and that it's not something that is normal in a relationship. Not arguing, I'm talking fighting. I'm talking, again, belittlement, putting you down, telling you you're not worthy, telling you you're not good enough, telling you your family's not good enough, telling you come from a background of losers and you're a loser. Or, you tell them something that's very close to you and they tell you that's stupid, and don't ever tell anybody that again because they're not going to believe you. I'm saying different things that in a relationship are not normal. I feel like in my heart that someone's listening to this and you need to walk away, but you don't want to. And the reason you don't want to is because you are so beat down that you don't think you're worthy enough to. And the unknown scares you. And the unknown of not knowing what you're going to do with your life scares you. And if that is you, I want to say, give it to God. Turn to God. Pray about it. Have faith, and God will get you out of that situation. If you looked on paper at my situation I was in, you would probably be like, she'll never get out of that. I was in deep. I was in very deep. And yet God got me out of that. And God got me back to a place of safeness and with a man that is amazing, that my husband, who is so good to me and so wonderful to me. And all those years that I believed I would never, ever have a guy like the husband that I have now, because that is what my ex would tell me. And that's what I believed. I believed I wasn't worthy of it, but God knew the whole time he had someone very special waiting for me. I just had to walk away from the situation that I was in. Now, I want to say this as well. The reason a person is abusive to you, the reason a person is mean to you, is because they are taught that. They have seen that in their lives, usually at a young age. They either saw their dad be mean to their mother, or maybe a grandmother and grandfather, or aunt and uncle. Somewhere along the way, they saw that as a child, usually, and they think that that's okay because that's what they were raised around. It's kind of like if you're raised in a family that never hugs or shows affection, and then someone shows you affection, you don't understand it. You're very almost gun shy to it because you haven't been around that. So these people, these men and these women, because there's abusive women just as well as there's abusive men, these people who have been hurt throughout their life, the only thing that they know how to do is to hurt other people. And that is why I'm telling you, you cannot change them. I, for years of my life, thought I could change him. And I prayed and prayed and prayed to change him. And I prayed to God to make a way for us to be together. And what a silly prayer that was back then. I didn't even realize it. I was praying to be with someone who literally put me down every day of my life. I was praying to be with someone that I had to walk on eggshells to be around. I was praying for someone who didn't love me the way that he should and didn't tell me that I was beautiful ever. It was always the opposite. I could never be pretty enough. My hair was never good enough. My body never looked right. I mean, it was so many different things, but I was praying for this because I did not see my worth, because I only saw what he saw in me. I didn't see my worth. And it was when God showed me my worth. And that was through my husband. When I met my husband, he told me all the time, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." And it took me forever to accept it because I was so used to crumbs. I was so used to not being good enough that I didn't understand what it was like to be treated well and for a guy to actually only want to be with me and not have eyes for every other female in the room. I didn't understand what that was like. So it almost freaked me out a little bit. And it would almost even make me mad, because I wanted him to be mean to me, because that's what I knew in relationships. But I'm telling you guys listening to this, that is not normal. You can't have two broken people and make a whole relationship. You can't have a person that's drowning and then bring in another person that's drowning and expect them both to survive. The one that's drowning is going to pull the other one down. And that's exactly what happened in this relationship that I was in. It was so toxic. It was so bad, but I was so drawn to it like a drug. I was so drawn in, and it was like this power that was over me, a magnet. Because in my mind, I would never, ever be able to have anyone better than him. And I didn't want anybody else to have him, because that's another thing that they do. They say, well, if you don't want me, there's plenty of other women out there that want me, or plenty of other men out there that want me. And so then you start to think, oh gosh, if I lose him, then I'm not going to have anybody. And they also take you from your job and your careers because they want to control you. Let me say that again. They want to control you, control your finances, control everything in your life. They want to control you, and that is what they do. And so when they get rid of your job, then there's no income coming in for you, and there is no way for you to pay for anything. So guess who you have to rely on, right? Then you can't pay rent, or you can't be on your own 2 feet. So guess who you have to live with? There is a plan to all this, and I want you guys to listen to me, that if this is the kind of relationship that you are in, you need to get out of it. I know you love them. I understand that, but you have to love yourself more. You have to love yourself more, because it is better, I think, to be alone than to be with someone that you can't be yourself around. Woo! That's good right there. That's good right there. You've got to know when to walk away. You've got to know whenever the time has come for you to say, no way, Jose, I deserve better than this. I am more than this. Yeah, maybe I don't have a high school education. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm not the smartest person in the world, but guess what? God has a plan for me too. He made me unique. He made me special. He can put the right people in my path at the right time. He can give me so much strength and power to do whatever it is I want to do. But I can't do this if I continue to be under the thumb of an abuser, of a person that's not appreciating me and not being there for me, not supporting me and not loving me like I deserve to be loved. Is it painful to walk away? Of course it is. How many times did I try to leave my ex? I can't even count. I really honestly lost count. It got to the point, and it's in my second book that I talk about it, but it got to the point where we were sneaking around just to try to see each other. It was so toxic. And it's another red flag. It's the high that gets you. Because when they want to turn it on, make it special, make you feel amazing, they can turn it on with the flowers or the dinners or whatever. And it's that high that gets you. But just like everything goes up, it's going to plunge below. Mine was when he drank. It was like a monster came out when he drank. And so therefore, I would sit on pins and needles watching him drink and drink and drink, and knowing that the monster's coming. And then the monster would come, and I'm not going to give it all away. It's in my book. But after that, It would be the sweetheart. It would be the hold me. It would be the I need you. It would be the, nobody understands what I'm going through. Nobody understands my life. Nobody understands the hurt and the pain that I've been through. And so therefore, here you go in the spider web again, right? Because you're not strong enough to walk away. My sister worked for the highway patrol, and she told me stories, that the police got called out to all the time, of women who would be in their kitchen cutting up vegetables with a huge butcher knife, and the husband would come home and something wasn't to what he thought it should be, and he would beat her while she was holding a butcher knife. You have to think of how much power a person has over you, that you're going to allow them to beat you while you're holding a butcher knife. It's a matter of you feel helpless, even though you're holding a butcher knife, even though you have a weapon. You're so brainwashed, you're so beat down that you can't walk away from that situation. So that's relationships, abusive relationships, that I want to touch on. Another thing that, when we talk about walking away from, is toxic friendships. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I have been let down by friends. I can't tell you how many times that I have put my heart and soul into people and they have disappointed me and they have let me down. So when do you know when to walk away from certain friends? When you realize they're not friends. Well, how do you realize they're not friends? Well, one good thing is, have you ever walked in a room and noticed everybody else shut up? And you felt it, you knew it, you're like, that's weird. I walked in and now everybody's like, just stop talking. Well, gee, I wonder what the subject was, right? Another one is when you feel like you're giving, and they're not giving anything back. They're not asking you how your day is. They're not asking you how you are. They're just all about themselves. It's 50-50. It's actually 100-100, just like in a relationship, in a marriage. It's 100-100. But so many times we try to fit in. It's like all the way back to the high school crap of you're trying to fit in with the cool group, right? And then the cool group makes all the rules, and then who cares? Some people never grow out of that. But you got to know when to walk away. You got to know, and I've said this in posts and different things before, but if your circle does not involve people who support you and love you and lift you up, it's not a circle, it's a cage. And that's something that's very important that we have to remember, is that you have to look around you at the people that are around you. And I'm very thankful that God removed a lot of them out of my life. I mean, they were dropping like flies around me, and I didn't even understand, but God was revealing left and right these people that I thought were my friends, and they weren't my friends at all. And God was revealing them to me. And I cried and I cried and I cried, because I was like, I don't even understand why all these people that I care about, that I love, are all just disappearing out of my life. God's revealing to me that they're talking about me behind my back. God's revealing to me that, all these different things. And so you got to know to walk away whenever those people are not supporting you and supporting your dream. Because the last thing you want is to be around people who don't believe in you, because it's hard enough to believe in yourself, right? It's hard enough to keep going on those days when you just want to ball up in the closet and cry. It's hard enough to keep going on those days, but to have somebody that's kind of pushing you down every single time, and they're doing it in a very tactful way. Oh, well, I think it's a great idea that you want to do that, but it's not very likely that it's going to happen. Well, I think it's a fantastic idea. Yeah, great idea. But, you are kind of up there in age. So, how much time do you really have to do it? Oh, wait, I think it's a good idea, but, somebody else did that and it didn't work out very well for them. Okay, these kind of people, get away from them, walk away from them, be gone. Because I'm telling you, they don't want to see you succeed, because you are a reflection of them. And if you climb higher and they don't, then that's their insecurities. And therefore, they're trying to sabotage you behind your back. Walk away. You want to be surrounded by the ones, even if it's 2 people, You want to have the ones that say, you know, I believe in you. You can totally do this. I know you got this. You know, I believe in your dreams. I believe in what you're doing. And really feel that and really know that. And then you do the same for them. You tell them, guys, don't be jealous of people. We all run our own race. We all run a different race. Don't be jealous of people because they get there faster than you do. God has a plan for you. It's different from what their plan is. Don't try to compare the two. You will steal so much joy from yourself when you start comparing yourself to other people. Because it is so easy for us to get envious or to get jealous or to be working super duper hard on something and then notice that we didn't make it happen, but somebody that's supposed to be our friend did. And then we're not going to be friends with them anymore because they did it before you did. No, celebrate them. Be excited for them. God has your time too, but you may not get it if you're sitting there pouting because this person did it before you did. If you're a true friend, support them, be happy for them, be excited for them. The higher they go, be a cheerleader for them, and know that God has your plan for you too. It's just on a different timetable than what theirs is. Sorry, my allergies are messed up because everything's blooming. It's spring. Spring has flown. Woo-hoo. Spring is spring. But yeah, I just want you to know that no matter what it is that they're achieving before you, be a cheerleader for them. Be excited for them. Because if you're jealous and you're envious, that is stealing all your joy. That's stealing your joy. That's putting doubt in yourself. And therefore, you're going to be miserable because they got there before you did. Be happy for them. Celebrate them. That's very important to do that. We have to lift each other up. So know when to walk away from toxic friendships. Know when that person that you're around is not there for you. It's there for the wrong reasons. Know that it's okay for you to walk away. It's okay that God takes people out of our lives. Some people are in for a reason, some for a season, some for a lifetime. And only God knows the answer to that. I stopped trying to figure it out. I really did. I stopped trying to figure it out. And when people leave my life, I'm like, okay, God, I guess their reason or season is over. And I'll accept that and I'll be okay with that. But God has shown me who the lifetime people are, and I know who that is. And I want to say that I love every single person that supports me and stands behind me, because those are the people that keep me going, because we all need that support system. So know when to walk away from toxic friendships. Know when to walk away from toxic relationships. I hope this, guys, really resonated with you. I hope that something that I said stuck with you. I do want to stress, if you are in a dangerous, please listen to me. If you're in a dangerous relationship, meaning he's threatened your life, meaning that you can't just walk away easily, you're in it pretty deep and you're scared. There are so many different, and matter of fact, I should have had this beforehand and I apologize, but I do want to give a phone number, because there's so many shelters. Okay. 1-800-799-7233 is a National Domestic Violence Hotline. Get somewhere that you feel safe, have a plan. You want to make sure if he goes to work, that would be the perfect time. But you want to make sure he's not on to anything, or she's not on to anything. You want to make sure that you have a plan and that you are very careful in how you do it, and just do it for you. Because sadly, a lot of men and women aren't able to. Their lives are taken from them. And my prayer is that if you hear this or you're seeing this and you're one of those people, my prayer is that you get away. Because I want to let you know something. All those lies that that person's telling you is not the truth. I'm an entrepreneur. I've written a book and I'm a bestseller. I help people. I'm a coach. I'm blessed, but I want to tell you, I don't say that to brag. I say that to say, as I stood in that kitchen of that house with that guy, and he looked at me and he said, "You will never amount to anything. You're so stupid. You only have a GED. Nobody's going to hire you. You're never going to do anything in life. Your best bet is to be my wife and take care of our kids, because that's all you'll ever be. He didn't know the plans God had for my life. And the person that you're with does not know the plans that God has for your life. You are more than what these men and women say you are. You are beautiful, you are special, and you are enough. And you can change your life if you give it over to God. And I mean, give it to God. Start reading the Bible, start doing devotions. I give every bit of credit to God. I did none of this on my own. It is all for the glory of God, and it is all for the prayers that went up for me. But I'm telling you, you can be and do whatever you want to do. And you have to believe that. You have to replace those voices in your head that say you can't, and start saying, yes, I can. Because I'm proof of that. I'm proof that you can go from standing in a kitchen, feeling like the lowest of the low, pretty much not even wanting to be on earth, to having the life you've always dreamed of. Is it like from 0 to 100? No. Did I go through a lot of trials, a lot of hard times? Yes. Did I have to sleep on a lot of couches? Yes. I was homeless. I mean, I didn't have a home. I had to leave his home. I didn't have a home. But I did have friends that stepped up and helped me. And I'm thankful for that. And let your friends do that. Guys, can I please just say this? Do not let pride stand in your way. Get rid of that. Get rid of that pride. Get rid of that wondering what people are going to say, or just take care of you and do what's best for your life. Because a lot of times pride gets in the way of us doing what we know we need to do. Pride gets in the way of us stepping away from, walking away from things, because we don't know what people are going to say and whisper about us. Who cares? I put all my business out there. Book 2, it's coming out, guys. And it's everything, because that's exactly what the Holy Spirit told me to do, so that people know they're not alone. So thank you for watching and listening. My name is Jody Paar. My website is Jody, JODYPAAR.com. You can go there for coaching. You can go there to buy my book, Boss, Breakout Silent Soldier, which is my true story of escaping human trafficking. You can also go on Instagram. I'm under the Jody Paar. I do a lot of inspirational posts on there. And Facebook, I'm under Jody Paar. I am starting a new website. I am super pumped up about. Anybody that follows me or knows me knows I'm all about bling. I always have bling. And so therefore I say, out of the darkness, now I sparkle. And I'm actually working on a new website that is going to be all bling, my friends. I'm very excited about it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and I don't know who my next guest will be, but I'm super excited because I know that God's going to send me the right one. So be blessed. Bye-bye.